Hello everyone. We are getting started with our live. Let's make sure I get a poll up. This. Alright, let's get ourselves actually into the game hopefully soon. Hopefully it won't take forever to load in, and no big deal. How's everyone's Fridays been? I've had a pretty good one myself. I'm doing darndest to get ready for... I'm going to be playing some Minecraft soon. I don't know how much, if any of it, I'm going to actually put on YouTube. Probably we'll do like a build showcase, maybe. Instead of like a Let's Play series. Because it is going to be a zoo. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm still trying to get the mod pack together for that, and then it's going to be a little bit before actually building enclosures for it, but wanted it to get started. So it will be I'll be working on Tri-State, which is, I'm trying to remember the name, Zoo Refugio Iquitos. Based in Peru, is the plan, but of course in Minecraft, so I'll be trying to find a jungle as soon as possible and start working on creating a modern zoo, which Tri-State isn't really. I mean, it's modern in some aspects, but it's got a lot of older style enclosures as well. Kind of low budget enclosures, so maybe modern but low budget, except some higher budget enclosures. But we're working currently on some exterior enclosures that are a little bit low budget, but the interior's somewhat higher budget. Probably the interior has been renovated. So yeah, this is kind of what I worked on this morning. Just some staff pathing. Getting these areas ready for gardening. We did a little bit of this on stream the other day of climbing frames for our eastern gray squirrel, which I really like the habitat now. These viewing bubbles obviously aren't functional, but I do like how they look, I think. Are these squirrels in the trees? Of course not. Where are they? Oh, there's one of them. But they can use... You used to be able to use that. I hate the way that, like, enrichment works sometimes. What got put in here that blocked everything? Is it this? I thought this didn't block. Isn't that? So for some reason these don't seem to be climbable anymore. Seems like climbing broke, question mark? No? What caused this? Shouldn't be this. Shouldn't be that either. It might be a relog thing. Because it certainly seems like they should be able to use all that stuff. They were able to yesterday, or the day before that, but now it seems like they're not able to. We'll relog. Just load back into this save. We didn't change anything, so it's not like we're losing anything. But sometimes the game just freaks out. If it doesn't get fixed by the relogging, we'll deal with something else. Because we don't have time for that. And we know it worked. I didn't really tweak anything. Unless it was the addition of that tree, but I feel like that tree was in there for a while. Pretty sure. No. Someone's dead. But yeah, we're loading it back in, and hopefully that will fix everything. If not, I'll figure out what broke off camera. Because that is odd, for sure. It's taking its sweet time to load back in, of course. As Planet Zoo does. But yeah, I really hope everyone's been having a good Saturday. I had a pretty great Saturday, so no complaints here. Alright, now it's smoothly loading in. Yeah, I mainly did gardening this morning outside of the enclosures, so I don't know why any of that would have caused them to not be able to climb now. It's very odd. Also, I feel like this needs to be slightly down from what it is. What's that? No, that's too much down. Sometimes this webcam is not as good as I wanted it to be. 1 second, guys. I had to fix this Wednesday. That's better. I think it's better. Hopefully, we'll load in, and the squirrels will be able to do their stuff. Okay, so we've loaded in. So we know there's that one there, but we also know there's one right over here that's a lot easier to grab. No, they can't use it. kind of want to know, is it something like this? It shouldn't be. Okay, no, that wasn't it. Let's see if we can, like, grab a rope piece. You know, I said I wasn't going to try and fix this, and now I'm trying to fix this. I just can't help myself. See if we can get this all in order. They can climb that. Of course, they can't there because it's not touching the ground. So we gotta get it to touch the ground. I guess the easiest way to do that is to lower this. This is why I hate doing climbing frames, because they work. And then they don't. What we really should do is we should use the forget that construction. Let's grab a straight piece. Oh, both are terrible. I can hate doing both. And hi, Shadow Clutch. I was just thinking about how I didn't respond to one of your comments last night, so that was haunting me. But yes, Total War Warhammer is really fun, but also very micromanagey. The problem with climbing frames is that they work and then they don't. Wait, were they able to use that area before? No. No, they were. Yeah, no, it's a fun game to play too. Sir, get back. Why can't they use this climbing frame? They were able to yesterday, I think. I'm trying to think of what I've added most recently. This was something that got added somewhat recently. Yeah, really. Nope. They can't reach the bottoms of this for some reason. See what happens if I put that down. Now they can climb up there. This is the eastern gray squirrel that we're working on. I know the picture was of an American red squirrel, but it's the picture that I had available. Chance that we can use this and they'll climb this. Watch it be. If I delete this, and it's a mod, in case you were wondering. Then if I place it back, will they be able to use it now? Because it's almost like the answer is no, unfortunately. It's the white-faced Saki, which has a pretty good hitbox, from my understanding. Because they were able to do the tail physics. So you're going to climb, sir? It's showing that you can get up there, and then it's showing you get completely stuck. He's trying to do something. These modded climbable pieces don't seem to work super well. Yeah, all the new animals have had pretty decent hitboxes from what I remember. Hey, Masonry Man, welcome to the stream. Alright, let's see if we can actually... Please, sir. Please climb. Oh yeah, it's pretty brutal. See, we have PZ Plus, which is supposed to make the hitboxes based off of the babies. Okay, that gets them to be able to use that. Still doesn't get them to really climb up there. Need to turn this off. But let's see if I take something like this. Now the problem is if I have to do this every single time just because the game decides that the climbing structure should break. Now, does that fix this guy's hitbox? No, but so that is a somewhat odd placement on that. If I place that more like that. Yeah, no, it should definitely get some changes. I still think the system itself is amazing compared to, you know, other games don't really get this. Alright, it acts like they can climb. Yes, so they can climb it now. Will they is another question. Ah, glorious. Thank you. Of course, he climbed up just to there and then leapt, as Planet Zoo animals do. Yeah, no, that would be great, especially with things like koalas. Sir, do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Have you gotten yourself stuck? Please tell me you have not got. Okay. It's like I would love to see animals do more um jumps that actually. Nope. 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 Feel weighted properly. Everything in Planet Zoo feels super floaty. If that makes sense. Okay, so that's accessible. Perfect. Like, whenever an animal jumps, it always feels like the gravity has no effect. And so what should really be happening is that an animal like a white-faced saki or squirrel should not be purposefully climbing through the trees super slowly. It should be bouncing like along, and then when it jumps, just it's a quick motion of boom, hop over. Yeah, like they're bouncing all over the place. If you've ever seen a squirrel, do y'all have squirrels in Germany? Okay. Now we got to do this for our southern fox squirrel, which are my favorite of our are these guys? I know these guys are in Europe as an invasive species. Do y'all have gray squirrels in Germany? I forget that European red squirrels are not. Okay, gotcha. I wonder if it's the needles. I don't think so. But maybe I won't add it onto this one, because the pine needles definitely could be it. No, they're just reskinned mulch. I've decided that's stupid. It's not the pine needles. Stupid gray hammer. Gotcha. So y'all have, I assume, European red squirrels and Eastern greys. Do y'all have anything else? I'm unfamiliar with squirrel species in Europe, aside from like the European red squirrel. I guess y'all probably have marmots as well, which is technically a squirrel. We're gonna have this be different. Do you know what the other one is? I'm so intrigued. Hey, Manly Muppet. Or would you prefer me to call you Manly Muppet or Monkey's Tavern? Because, I don't do well with change. We've got the gang here today. So we're working on these squirrel habitats. We're gonna just kind of mimic this over here. Gotcha. Wasn't sure if you were doing a rebrand like me. Though my rebrand is more logo-wise, which I need to update my logo on Twitch. I kind of forgot to. But I've gotten good responses on it, so. And this one was not AI generated like the other one, or I guess the current one for y'all. So I actually made it myself. I mean, was it mostly Canva? Yes, but okay, gotcha. The Monkey's Tavern, we've been working on redoing our squirrel enclosures to really make them. It felt weird to have a giant squirrel enclosure and have our bobcat in this, which is suitable for a bobcat. So we shrunk it down a little bit. It's still pretty large, probably too large for squirrels, but um, I don't really want to reduce the footprint too much. And it's Planet Zoo, so hitboxes be weird. The fox squirrels definitely have a very large enclosure, but okay, gotcha. Gotcha. I'm trying to think, should we do. I think we should probably do the colors on this first. Oh, that's the wrong color right there. Get some of these around here. Get like a doom palm. Are these climbable? No. Darn. Make sure that doesn't clip in the wall there. But I do want this to be a little bit more arid. Slash grasslandy. Because I gotta remember, I'm not building it for the area that I live around, which is in the Birmingham area, which is a pretty wide area, so I'm not really doxing myself too much there. I'm building in southern Alabama, which is a very different area. Because where I am is mostly oak mixed with pine. Whereas this is more pine with a little bit of oak and a lot of palmettos. Just making sure that everything's connected. Looks like we're good. Okay. I want to get some of this blue stem in. I want to get some ponytail palm. This should block their traversable area for sure. So we'll just stick that. Make sure we're on random rotation, but not random rotation all. And then we'll grab some Triodia. Now they shouldn't be able to go up there, right? We do that. Correct, they can't get up there. Perfect. Now let's go in with some blue stem. We're gonna make the foliage in here much more relaxed. Like, not as much foliage everywhere. We'll probably do some pebbles and stuff. Do some grasses mainly. Maybe some sand patches. Differentiate it a little bit from the other squirrel habitats. Because while in Dothan where the zoo is set, yeah, I believe it is subtropical as opposed to tropical. Where I live, we're still in what's considered an Appalachian climate, meaning like the Appalachian Mountains are still very dominant on our climate, even though we're not actually in the Appalachians. North Alabama is the foothill of the Appalachians. But like let me see if I can pull up the southern Alabama is dominated by pine and wiregrass savanna. Longleaf pine savanna, which is the state tree of Alabama, I'm pretty sure. It's the longleaf pine. Can I just look at that image? No? Okay. Trying to take that picture. Okay. Let's see. There we go. So like this is pretty typical habitat down southern Alabama, or this. It's the wiregrass region. So you've got all these savannas that are pine, very dependent on burns. So controlled wildfires are incredibly important down south. Yeah, no, it's a very, very interesting habitat. Yeah, you get the idea. The dry blue stem grass does a really good job at replicating that. Also, blue stem is native to parts of Alabama. So that is an actual accurate plant to have included in the region. And then myrtle, which looks a lot like the diamond leaf willow bush, really looks like some myrtle. It's often found more along the edges of like lakes and stuff like that, but there's also there's a so in Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, which is the 3 states that this zoo represents, there are 9 ecosystems. I can actually show that to you because we've got some new signs in. Also, I still really love this feral pig enclosure. They're not wild boars, they're feral pigs. Pretend with me. So I've started doing a new type of sign which I haven't shown off to you guys. Let me see. Yeah. So I kind of use the images that I normally use in my thumbnails. But I've been developing this sign type. So the eastern diamondback rattlesnake is pretty much in the southern parts of these states. So you've got the Atlantic coastal forest, which is in far eastern Georgia. You've got the southeastern conifer forest, which is where our zoo is set in. You've got the Florida dry scrub, which is in more southern Florida. You've got the Everglades, and then you've got the southern Florida rock forest, I think is what it's called. And then timber rattlesnakes, you've got the Appalachian mesophytic forest. That's where I live. The Blue Ridge Mountains forest. Thank you. And then this is the central U.S. Central U.S. hardwood forest, southeastern conifer forest. And so those are, or not southeastern conifer, southeastern mixed forest. So that's about an hour south of where I am. I think I've got 2 new signs for these guys, but still got to make signs for all of these guys. I just haven't put the signs in for these guys. But this will house our 6 venomous snakes that are found in our state. The pygmy rattlesnake, which is it's probably my favorite. It's the only one of the rattlesnakes that is not crotalus. So this is a crotalus, and then this is a crotalus. Those are our 2 rattlesnake species that are in the like true rattlesnakes, whereas the pygmy rattlesnake is Silurmius, which is the Masagas, which is a pygmy rattlesnakes. And then this is the eastern coral snake, our only venomous elapid. Yeah, 6 venomous snakes. And then we've got the Agkistrodon. I think that means fish-eating teeth. Though the eastern copperhead is not necessarily a fish-eating snake. This is the babiest one. This is the one that's, if you get bit by this one, you're not going to die, almost assuredly. This guy, if you get bit by him and you get envenomated, and it probably has the most dangerous venom. This guy most definitely has the highest venom yield. They can get up to 8 feet long, though they usually are around 6 feet long. In contrast, they can get to about 2 meters long for Europeans. I mean, that's not even anything considered to the desert regions of the US. I think they have more rattlesnake species. Like California has quite a few. But the diamondback rattlesnake is the 4th largest venomous snake in the world and the largest rattlesnake. And then the timber rattlesnake is very interesting because depending on the region you live, they have a different type of venom. So where I live, they're considered canebrakes, which is called type A venom. And that type of venom specifically is a neurotoxin, and it causes paralysis, and it can also cause your eyes basically to spasm, I think is the... I tried to get past the medical lingo when I was understanding it. Whereas rattlesnakes from more northern areas, like the Appalachians, New York, they are much more... they have a hemotoxin, so they're... it's not as dangerous necessarily. Still not a fun one to get bitten by, but it will break down your blood cells, cause hemorrhaging. So yeah, not a fun one to get bit by. Not that any of these are fun, but then so that's a type B venom. Then there's type A plus B, and this is mainly in parts of Mississippi and Louisiana, so not under our purview. Technically, a type B could be found in... Yeah, I'm actually going to have a sign about that, because most bites from these venomous snakes happen when people try to kill them, and either A, they misunderestimate the striking distance of a snake, which is very easy to do. They can strike from much further away than you would expect. Or B, they handle the head when it's been chopped off, which they can still bite up to, I think it's like half an hour after the head has been cut off. And, oh shoot. In fact, the only death from a coral snake in the past 40 years, so they're super venomous, but they are fossorial, meaning that they are actually spend most of their life in like leaf litter. They don't really come around too much outside of like... They mainly hunt for lizards and snakes under rocks, so they are snake eating. But the person who bought them did not see or got bit by one. Yeah, it's just like a reflex. It's not necessarily anything conscious that's happening, but it definitely does deceive people. All right, now let's get to this. And all of our snakes will give very much fair warning before they bite anyone. That's the great thing about rattlesnakes, is it's very hard to get bit by one because they are going to tell you about their presence way before you get in biting range. Cottonmouths will open their mouths like kind of like a blue-tongued skink, except unlike a blue-tongued skink, they actually are venomous, so they can back up. Oh yeah, 100%. Like if you get bit, it's probably your fault, or it's a child. Those are pretty much your options. And if you die, it's definitely your fault, because antivenom is pretty readily available for all the species. Coral snake is... There's actually not as much available antivenom, but that's because the bites are so rare, people don't actually like produce it very often. So like I think Pfizer said we're discontinuing the creation of antivenom of coral snakes because it's so unprofitable, because nobody ever gets bit by coral snakes. So the door's going to open this way. So it's okay if this is a little close to the door. Let's see if they can climb that. That could also be it. Okay, so they can't get over there, probably because of the ponytail palm. No big deal. Just put this over here. No, we are basing this off of the rope piece, not the pole piece. I need to get that in my thick skull. Because it is useless for me if I put the pole someplace and the rope doesn't reach there. That's a little too curved. I like them not being posted in fully straight because I imagine that the squirrels would probably like be on it so much that eventually they'd wear down like and lean a little bit, but I don't want it to be like super crazy. These guys blend in actually remarkably well. I'm gonna just check if I put this down here, are they gonna be able to climb it? Or has the game decided that those are no longer climbable, even though they definitely are? Okay, we have decided that it is climbable. All right, let's grab this. Let's grab this. Maybe sink it that way. That feels very linear right now, but where'd they go? Oh, they're there. I know you can't get too far in there, so I know you're gonna come out eventually. Oh my gosh, they can hide so well in this brush. It's almost like it's their natural habitat. Come on. The other one had already booked it over here. Can you? Darn. Why is it gotta be like this? That's what I hope. I'm darn you. Okay, so now I gotta just do one over here because the game is so stupid. It forgets that a piece is climbable. I have to remind it that the pieces in this game are climbable. This feels like it's not my job. Be like, okay, so I'm gonna use this piece, and then you're gonna figure out, game, that this piece is indeed climbable, right? It's like, oh yeah, it is. Yeah. You've got to just have this piece touching this piece. But if it's in the wrong order, they can't climb it. You know, this one right here was definitely a risk because it was kind of close to over there. Luckily, the other squirrels that we'll be building for are less climbing required. Alright, let's see now. Where are these guys? Come on, buddy. Oh, there they are. How'd they get over there? Darn. Let's see. Maybe now? Oh, this. Let's see. Okay. So the game still is deciding that it wants to be stupid. What's that? Oh, hey! Thanks for tuning in. Why is this not working? we've almost got this climbing frame working. We can climb from there to there, but can't climb back onto the ground. I can't move you over here because... No, I can. Let's see what happens if I move you over here. Will you magically be able to remember, oh yes, I can climb over here. Oh no, you didn't. Yes, Joseph. Thanks for noticing. Where did I actually accidentally move you into? Oh, yeah. Oops. Yeah, no, you're not supposed to be with the Eastern Greys. They would eat you alive. Which is funny, because the fox squirrel is significantly larger than the Eastern Greys. The Eastern Greys are just dominant. Significantly dominant. As I'm sure y'all Europeans know. Joseph, do they have squirrels in Israel, or do y'all not have them over there? Okay. We're in here. Can you go here? No. So you can't be put over there. Oh. Well, I think Eastern Greys are... I think they're in North Africa, so they may be in Israel. Fox squirrel. Thanks, Murray. Maybe they'll be able to climb through on that. This is the worst part of the game, is trying to get these climbing frames to work. Okay, so we can climb up there. And climb over to here. They just can't figure out how to actually get onto the ground. What if we did climbable rope? I know we've done something similar to this and it didn't work. But what if it did? That's where I'm at right now, guys. At the stage of trying things that I've already tried before. What if there was a rope hanging from that one? Could they climb down that rope? Perhaps. Let's see it calculate. Calculating. No. Of course not. Now, what about we take a 2-meter climbable log? Eh, it is for sure. Ah, unfortunate, but yeah, it's most definitely the definition of insanity. But also, Planet Zoo sometimes isn't sure that it's an actual game and will just decide to poop the bed. What the crap? I'm going to take a screenshot of this and send it to people who are smarter than me. Wait, hold on. That might be why. Oh, that would be frustrating if that was the reason. I am stupid. El stupido. That is what you can call me now. Now the question is, with that gone, can they get onto the ground? I don't want to touch. I don't want to touch the grass. Ah, praise the Lord. Oh, okay. They can use this climbing frame. Now, I think I kind of... Shall we push our luck? No. That's what I'm... That's... But to me, it kind of looks like... Kind of looks lame still. Like we need a few things still. What are you doing over here, sir? Why are you just giving them the stare down? Like, what if we grabbed this? Grab one of these, bring it over here, probably around here. And then we grab climbable rope. We grab the 2-meter curved. Put it down in the right position. Make sure it's not that weird rotation. Bring it up like there. Then we'll move this into position. Malleable wood. And then we just drop this on, like, right there. Like, how bad does that put us? Can they get there? Have I broken everything? Looks like they can use it. That's what it says. They might even be able to stick a foraging pit. It does, doesn't it? So guess what I'm gonna do? We're gonna make a bold play. We're gonna take this foraging pit. Just trying to find a place where we can hide the wooden part of this pretty easily. Seems like that's probably the easiest, because I can just go and theoretically we can just have a fallen tree in here, which is a climbable piece, so it should not, theoretically, block any terrain. Because they should be able to, theoretically, climb over it. I know, crazy ideas, like using in-game enrichment pieces that they're supposed to be able to use. Can we get over there? Praise the Lord. They can use everything. Oh, look. Oh my gosh. They're climbing. It's happening. Guys, it's happening. Oh, they're climbing down now. Okay. Oh. Oh my gosh, this could be a screenshot. Go to your rightful place. Oh, please go. Well, Maria, you haven't played Planet Zoo before, so I'll give you a little breakdown of just kind of how it works. Animals basically have a navigatable area. That's what I'm doing when I'm showing this. The blue is areas they can walk on. The green is where they are able to climb across. You want there to be an unbroken green line, and certain pieces are climbable, like this rope. That's why when I go here, I'm looking up climbable, because it will include only things that the animals can climb. So if there's an unbroken green line, that means that the animal can climb along it. And so what we're able to do is we're able to take the enrichment that's these things. These are things like toys that the animal can play with. And if we put all of their toy enrichment over here and all of their food enrichment over there, they're going to constantly have to climb in between the two areas. And that is how you can get your animals to maximize how much they climb. That's good for any PZ player to know. Oh, and they gotta recalculate, which means I might have broken something. Looks like we in fact did not break anything. And so you can really control how the animals behave by these enrichment, because the AI will basically prioritize this. And if the question is more on how do I have the patience for it or anything like that, I've just done enough CAD programs in engineering school that's basically the same thing. I much prefer them colored like that. Now, if I put this over here, the chance that it can be used is incredibly slow, right? Small. But never zero. Now, will the staff be able to actually bring it over here? I'm not sure, but I still like the idea of it being there. Yay! But I also believe the white-faced suck. Oh, okay, there you go. There you go, buddy. I believe the white-faced Saki is one of the Planet Zoo animals that actually... I do want a screenshot of that. Nab a screenshot there. the Saki monkey, I think, is one of the animals that actually climbs really well. I think that's where we're going to leave this habitat, because I dare not risk what in the crap? Jazz, if you lost me. But yes, more squirrels is always good, unless they're these guys, in which case it's not always good because they can be invasive. They're a very high chance of being invasive. Oh, let me see. Well, I mean, it just makes the squirrels look more realistic if they're climbing more often. In reality, they'd be all over this mesh climbing along it. So I'm going to take a little break from habitats and going to do a few gardening areas. Yeah, it's too smooth. Was it a Provost squirrel? Those are like the most common squirrels in zoos, I think. If not that. Yeah, no, that is good. Loblollies are very common here. We're also using punch. Was it like a black and red squirrel? That's what the Provost is. Um, yeah, that's probably a Provost then. What else did I have in this garden and stuff? Arrowwood, ponytail palms. We do have random rotation on, right? Yep. Yeah, we'll finish this little gardening area. And then I guess let me open up a poll right now. Let me end that poll. And then I'll start a new poll and say, what should we work on? And it will just be whether we're working on the interior or exterior, whether that be gardening or an actual habitat. New poll, what should we work on? And we'll let this poll go on for 5 minutes. I don't think we need it to go for 10 minutes. Alright, so vote in the poll whether you want to see me basically work on the bug house, or you want me to work on, I could work on the bug house, or I can work on the gardening slash groundhog or chipmunk habitat. Nature. Let's grab some arrow leaf. Or arrow wood. Yeah, and we'll want some nettles in here as well. This always works on bringing great greenery to the area. And then we'll put some brambles, make it all messy looking. It's nature, it's not supposed to look fully clean. But then we're going to bring in some cone flowers, which are a new mod that really are pretty common here in the Southeast and can add a bit of color to this while still looking kind of wildflower. I say looking kind of wildflower, they are wildflowers. My mom has these in her garden. They're really easy to spread because that cone, those are all seeds, so what you can do is you can pick up that cone and then sprinkle it, and those seeds will propagate. So that's the staff area. I probably need to actually zone off this area as well. We can do that while the pole is running. Has everyone who is watching Invincible watched the most recent episode? So that's what I was watching as I was building this morning. In my opinion, it was a bit of a lackluster episode compared to the last one. But I don't want to talk about it if people haven't watched it who are going to. Gotcha. Yeah, I've got a few shows now that I'm have on my waiting on episodes list. Mainly it's Survivor. I guess also in the exterior we could be working on these habitats up here for our small carnivorous slash omnivorous birds. So we've got blue jay, we'll have screech owl, sharp-shinned hawk, then we'll have merlins, and then loggerhead shrikes. Let me see how the poll is doing. Got people saying interior on that, and then Twitch poll, which is almost over, is one saying exterior. So guys, put your votes in if you're lurking for what you want to see. Oh, it's 2 votes interior right now, so interior's winning right now. So if y'all want to watch me do exterior, then go ahead and say so. Otherwise, we're about to do some interior work, which I've started kind of getting an idea of how I want the bug house to actually look. Because I've had these ideas of what the bug house is going to look like, and at first I was trying to go fully immersive. What's happening there? Oh, that's why. That would do it. I just want regular random rotation. I was like, why? This is usually a really great plant for blocking out areas. It in the hedgerow, but this is one that animals can actually move through. So it's a little bit better than the hedgerow in my opinion, even though it's not necessarily as dense. Here it doesn't matter as much, we can probably put in some hedgerows. Okay, let's make sure nothing crazy happened in the poll. View results. 1 vote for exterior, then interior 1 on the YouTube poll. So we're going to work on the interior, getting some bugs in. Thank you, Marie. And let's make sure that, well, I say that, and we're going to have terrariums all along this wall. So let me just make sure. I know exactly how many species are in tri-state. If invertebrates, I should probably have a notebook over here to write it down. But let's just grab some limestone. I guess I could write it down in the game. That's always a possibility. So now, I think that guy was freaking out the pieces. So I want to have lots of insects in here. And arthropods. So spiders, millipedes, this is all creepy crawlies. This is supposed to be a fun, like, kids area, sort of. And I feel like bugs kind of work for that. Now let's get this all. Well, yeah, depends. But in general, yes, probably. We've got a petting zoo that's more for all kids. Plus, it's good to highlight some of the biodiversity of insect life that are found in the area. I guess I should say invertebrate life, because a lot of spiders going to be included in this as well. Some centipedes, some scorpions. Well, you know, creepy crawlies, you can do kind of fun signage, I feel like. I don't know, I could just be making this up as I go, but I feel like there's a lot more interactive capabilities of, like, bugs to be like, oh, click this button and you get to know what a stink bug smells like. I don't know. I half want to do like a sort of playground. I don't know if I would really be able to do that. Okay, so if that's the walls, I think I want them white, though we might go with another color. Does anyone have any suggestions? I'm thinking of like a brighter white. I'm actually thinking as well. I don't know if these pieces are the piece for it. I think I kind of want it to be. Kind of want it to be these art shapes. And it'll look like I'm trying to figure out what type of wall we can use. Actually, hold on. I do like measuring it out with these. Make sure we get them all in order, but I think there's a piece I actually kind of want to use, and that is a modded piece. I want to use these carpet pieces as a wall. I think I want it like a green color. I mean, true. I'm just meaning more like I'm more talking about it in terms of signage. I feel like insects more are more conducive to signage that's a little bit more whimsical. I feel like this carpet. Well, there's a few good things about this carpet wall. One, it's going to absorb all the sound of the kids. That's number one. Is it will reduce any echoes caused by the kids screaming. And for two, it's kind of a fun texture for the kids to touch, maybe. Of course, completely gross, but it also kind of gives the idea of like an 80s style building, I think. My local zoo has like silhouettes of the animals in some of its buildings. Um, out of like this really gross looking carpet that I think is from like the 80s when that was not that unusual. say as someone who never lived in the 80s, but I think it's a 60s era building, honestly. I mean, it is help for the sanity of everyone. Nothing like a screaming child in an echoey room that can just ruin your day. Oh wait, stained wood. We're gonna take this, boom. Oh, you mean screaming kids? Yeah. That could be a nightmare. Multiple screaming kids in a confined area with echoes bouncing off the walls. I'm also really feeling like the ceiling is just too high. It is. The ceiling should only really be about like here. So we might lower the ceiling a bit. It's like it's fine if you don't get to see all the way up. We'll see how that works. But I think this would be a fine place for the ceiling to be. What do you mean make it an angle? Oh, you mean... I guess we don't actually have to raise it too much higher. We might just keep it as it is. Oh, you mean this? Guess it could. I don't know. We'll see how we can get it to look. First, let's get all this in. Trying to decide, do we like this green color or do we need it to be something else? I almost think it blends in too much. I kind of want it to be vibrant. But also it's one of our main colors that we use in our zoo. Oh yeah, no, we're definitely going to have to add lights to the ceiling. So we do carpets like that. Make sure nothing's sticking out. I forgot. I hate align to surface so much. There we go. Perfect. It no longer really makes sense that they should be able to look through here. So we'll just close this off and it will be something for some species. Not sure what yet. Now the question is this too open? Tell you one thing, I don't think I like the way that is, because I think I made it just too... I'd much rather have something more like this. Makes it look a lot cleaner. Perfect. Now we probably will want something secondary on the side. I think I've got a general idea of what I want, but let's get these signs in place. Let's use the small sign because that's probably more indicative. Let's actually grab plaster. We probably want a gap of this much in between. So that's where the enclosures will go. Shoot, I might even have... I don't hate the idea of having pillars in between them. It's something actual, like, zoos do somewhat frequently. This is just for spacing. Though we can figure out exactly how we want to make it look. Very end. So all of these will have enclosures. Very small enclosures. Just make sure we get this. We should be able to fit a decent amount of species in here. Now the big question is going to be, do we double up? And that will depend on how many species we already have, because I kind of want some more. I mean, we don't need that there. So now it's not going to work, is it? The spacing. Because we don't have a piece that's that small. So we could either have it every meter, which would cut our species count in half. Probably have to do that anyway with that one. We could have them as terrariums not built into the wall. That's really me, just trying to have as many terrariums as possible. Like, it's just a bug hall is what we're building. I'm not opposed to having just little cabinet stands all along here. But that might be too repetitive. I'm really trying to figure out how I can keep it from becoming repetitive. See, this is what the limestone's really good for. Because it has smaller pieces. Because if I grabbed a limestone, I could use this basically in between each one of these. What if we did something different? Anybody got any ideas? So, oh no, that piece is not full. I'm trying to figure out. So the carpet piece, the smallest one they've got is 1 meter on one side. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a we should have it frame the terrariums. Probably not put that one there. Because I would like them to be. Yeah. It's just a question of we may not be able to use the carpet, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Maybe we'll use the carpet as soundproofing panels rather than as the main wall. Like, this ain't gonna be fun replacing all this, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, let's first just grab all this. It's all getting deleted for now. Not ideal for sure that we're having to redo a whole big section of this, but I think this is going to be for the best. Actually, I don't know why I'm doing it that way, when really the way I want to do it is completely different than that. That's the only thing that I could have done right. Let's see. Let's grab this, maybe, perchance. Probably want it about this height. I think. Let's see. Come on. Let me select all these. I know there's weird pathing in here and everything, but game, please let me do what I want to. Okay, so I think I want the eye level to be about like so. So a kid won't really have to work too hard at it, and an adult won't either. I'm supposed to be getting a list of all the species we have. So let's just do it this way. Let's grab more like a what? Sorry. Pedestal? Oh, that you were saying like a. See, the problem is I feel like that would get tiring for after a bit. Oh, yeah, no, I just mean like it would look repetitive, I feel like, if it's just pedestal, 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 pedestal. I don't know. Come on. Now, this is going to be somewhat repetitive because we're doing just a old style bug slash reptile house where it's just enclosure, enclosure, enclosure. But I think we're pretty much dating this area into the 80s. I don't have to fix the spelling, it's just for reference. Eastern Harvestman, Eastern Hercules Beetle. This is a long species list. Elk stag beetle. Maybe we don't need more species. But they're just so easy to get. in ZSU and in real life that there's like no point not to have. A ton, but we'll see how many enclosures we want to be, because some of these we're going to be able to mix. How long we Katie did. Ox beetle. Beetle. Next page. Oh shoot, gotta redo the command on Discord. Invertebrates, page 2. Okay, we're almost done. To striped walking stick. Now let's see if we can just match these up, group them in somewhat similar groups. I'm thinking about mixing these two species, but I'm not sure. Keep them separate for now. That should be a fine mix. Let's see. I think we have these two mixed in the original one, so see no reason not to now. That's what I was waiting for, to get those two. We can get the baby mantis. That should be fine, and then that gives us space over here for like... we'll just leave that as it is there. We don't need more species. We don't need more species. This is more than enough bugs. Yeah, I think. Much as I just love adding more species to our collection. Let's put that like so. Let's see. Get this all situated. Let's see. Actually, I can just grab this one. Okay, we're kind of getting this going along. I don't think we're going to finish the interior tonight, and I'll probably just kind of block out these a little bit, and then I'll do a little bit more work on the exterior. Probably gardening, because I don't know if I have the mental energy required to do a whole... try and fix a whole nother habitat. Yeah, around 9:30, so in 5 minutes, let's try and move on to something different, because I'm gonna burn myself out on this project if I don't. Make sure this is the right color. Did we not put anything in here? We will, we'll get like a vinegaroon or something in there. Actually, we'll just put the Hercules beetle goes over here now. The eastern bark centipede goes over here. Okay, alrighty. It's basically 9:30, so I'm gonna take a break from that. Let's come back out here. Let's put some dune palms in, especially along that back wall. Grab a pine. We'll do Scots pine, but actually it's going to look like a slash pine is the goal. We can just get this gardening done really quickly. And maybe get the chipmunk habitat done, because it's pretty small. So it shouldn't take much to finish it. I'm going to be playing D&D tomorrow, which is exciting. I haven't been playing too much recently, so we'll get some nettles to make this area look nice. Triodia always is helpful in kind of blending some areas together. Then we, of course, want our cone flower. I want to see how it looks from up here. We need something over there to just be a little bit different. Let's do a walkthrough of this area. Okay, so obviously this is still work in progress. So if we come up here, nice and lush. Obviously this whole area to my left is very much work in progress. Also, this is all going to get torn down, so don't pay any attention to that. This is where you'll get a nice look at some birds. I feel like this stands out a little bit too much. And then as you're coming along here, obviously we got to finish gardening this section and this over here. Just going to tie in two areas together. Should take the HUD off. Nice. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out. I want this to frame something. So when you're coming over, let's get back to trying to figure out how we can. I think I do want this tree. Maybe not. If I can get this to look good right here. Yeah. That's good. That I think is good because we get that nice view to where you can see home invaders. It's always nice to look out for sightlines like that where you get, oh, well, that wouldn't work there. Should probably not have. Hmm. Hmm. I think I do like this. Do we work on this enclosure? I forgot these guys are based off the meerkat, so they eat meat. Do we work on the chipmunk habitat? Do we have time? I think we've got time to do it. At least some work on the chipmunk habitat. Can't promise it'll be finished, but all right. So now that we've got that roof panel, darn. Should be fine to just go right like so. Oops, didn't grab enough there. Now, what we would do is we'll take this. No, we don't grab that. We grab just these pieces. And let's get this all in line. And then, of course, these don't look like they're matching up, so we gotta Grab these. Just grab that. Looks like that one also got buried. That one's fine, and that one's fine. Oh, this enclosure is so fun, isn't it? So much fun. All right, so we've got our box in there. Now, chipmunks don't really climb nearly as much as like a gray squirrel would. Where is this? Why you gotta be so weird? So our other fox squirrel, or our other squirrel species, climb much more than these guys. So we don't really need climbing frames in here. I know, don't yell in excitement too quickly. Because we're definitely still happy about that. But so I'm trying to figure out exactly no, not that. Let's see. Not oak, not pine. It's probably would be pine, actually. It would be the only thing that we could really get to stick out of here. I do want a tree in here, I think. I think I want it on this side so that it doesn't get that red glow from the nocturnal lights. And then I think we're going to have a bathroom around here. That's what I did the first time I built this, and then I lost the save, of course. I want to go somewhat easy on the foliage in here, lots of litter, but not a ton of like undergrowth, because otherwise you're never seeing these guys. Ever. Because they're so tiny. Let's see if we can add some of these as well. Just for small flashes of color. I'd like to get like an oak sapling in here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now in here, maybe we'll put some lords and ladies in here. So again, nothing too crazy, but these look somewhat like Jack in the Pulpit, which are a native plant here in the Southeast. I think I might actually pull in some hostas as well. So still some hiding spots for sure. So we could do the termite mound enrichment item. And we could just say that they hide acorns in there. Let's see, can we get this to actually be accessible? Come on. Here's our... Okay, this is just blocking everything. Oh, that's why things were moving fast. Let's see if we can get the bamboo feeder over, like, here. Where is the chipmunk? There we are. Doesn't really show whether you can use that, but I'm sure we will figure out shortly. I don't really feel like we need a burrow for these guys. honestly, okay, this bush needs to go closer to over here. This one needs to go more over here. All right. I feel like that's pretty good. We don't want anything too crazy there. I don't think I'm actually going to put any plants there. I think I'm just going to have these rocks be here. It's not really enough room for an actual garden. We'll put some actual nettles and stuff. Maybe some lords and ladies in the cracks of these. Actually, we'll probably just do some faux rocks. Just get this all in line here. Just these piles of rocks. And then we'll get screenshots and then we'll be done for the night. Get these piles of rocks all situated. I do want to thank everyone who came out tonight. We had a good crowd. Really good crowd tonight. Well, yeah. Had a blast. Got a good bit done. I feel like we had some fun with talking about venomous snakes and things like that. If you are watching on YouTube and you have not yet already, go ahead and leave a like. Really can help out. It will help this stream get seen by other people later on after the stream is down, because everything's saved as a VOD. So if you are watching and you would like to see what we were building this entire time, you maybe just came in at the very last minute, go ahead and watch the VOD afterwards. You can save it. On Twitch, you can go over to YouTube to watch the VOD forever, but it should be saved on Twitch for a short period of time. I'm not exactly sure how long. Come on. Pick up that rock. Or that rock? That rock. And then let's still get some like nettles to just kind of show that even though they tried to like keep things from growing with like placing rocks, stuff kind of sprouts out anyway. Now we still have to do decals and stuff on this stone bit, but let's get some screenshots specifically of any nice shots. I don't know that we're going to get any great shots here. But we'll see. On this, we should be able to get some good shots. Especially if we're here. Do like fix the interior there. Where are they? Oh, there's one. There's the other. Of course, they're not in great photography spots. Maybe they'll... Let me get a picture of the gray squirrel because he was in a decent photography spot. Sir. We'll have to figure out inventive ways to keep them off the path. There's ways to do it. Come on, guys. I just need you to climb, and then I'm done taking pictures, I promise. Please climb. Might be able to get him to climb. If I put him over here. Yes. I know what I'm doing. Alright, that's going to be all the screenshots that I needed to take. I see we got some people on YouTube. The stream is going to be ending here. I do appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't been watching for a while, I do encourage you to go back and watch through the VOD, because it will be saved. Yeah, I hope you catch me next time. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see any of my other streams when I stream in the future. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.